You should be watching.
Bing bong!
Now, y'all know I was going to talk about this. Y'all know I was going to talk about this. And y'all know, this time around, I got to get this out on time, back like how I used to back in the day, But, let's go through the information and whatnot. This is S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan Son Goku. The games begin. Wonder what games they could be talking about. Now, the scheduled release is October 2025. The pre-orders open on April 25th. So be on the lookout. And from what I can tell, this is looking to be a general release because it said retail release. I'll put a screenshot of it on the screen, or maybe I'll just screen record some footage and show it to y'all. Either way, it'll be in the video. Now that we gotten the information out the way, because the price is in yen, 4,400 yen, and that translates roughly to about $32 in US. So basically, this is going to be our base. This is probably going to end up being our $35 release, general release, kind of like that Daima Goku. And we're going to go through the pictures. And man, this figure. We're going to talk about that picture right here. All right, let's start here, right? So,
Bing bong! Something
that people have been saying is that this is, the new 3.0 Goku. They finally did a 3.0 Goku, with the end, like no battle damage or what have you. Well, I'm sure that's what people mean, because people say, oh, finally 3.0 Goku, but we've been getting that. I'm sure they mean regular Gi, no battle damage or anything like that, because our first 3.0 Goku, of course, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then we got the legendary Super Saiyan Goku, which I'm gonna briefly talk about it here. I think that figure is something like a 3.5, and this is a 4.0. I'm just gonna briefly go through it. I'll go in more depth in the body. I'm gonna do another video about body molds, but basically, if the baseline 3.0 is something like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right, and Ultimate Gohan from the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, then the updated 3.0s would, have some type of change typically. And this figure is literally the culmination of all of those changes. So, what do you mean, bombastic? How's this 4.0? Well, we see that one change that they wanted to do in terms of the torso is make it more seamless by putting the soft material and, not having the ab articulation show at all. That's one change. That's included in this figure. Okay? And if I miss one, just bear with me. Now we go to the legendary Super Saiyan Goku. It introduced another new standard, which is what? The soft crotch piece. What does that allow to do? More range of motion, higher kicks. You can kick backwards, even though some people are on the fence about that. Some people like it, some people don't. And then, of course, they took the ankles to a whole other level. And, of course, the sculpt work was great. Now, we go to Daima Goku from... Daima Adult Goku. I was about to say from GT. I was about to mix my series up. And we have... They ditched this double jointed knee for a more simpler articulation with a single jointed knee. So it looks more seamless when the leg is straight. And then when you bend, this gets actually more than 90 degrees. And, that's typically, something that we expect out of a double jointed knee. But if you could get it with a single jointed knee, it's not about what type of joint it is. It's about the functionality of the joint. So if you can get a deep bend with just a single joint, have at it. So that's what this figure includes. And then it includes some stuff that's even more updated. So if you really think about it, the gap between 2.0 and 3.0 is minuscule between this figure and a baseline 3.0. The gap. This is a much bigger jump, I would say. Is it the jump that is worth you spending your money for another Goku? Maybe, maybe not. But as you can see, they made some adjustments with the figure too. Of course, they talk about the single jointed knee and have a more seamless look, which is, it's funny that they're going for a more seamless look, but the aesthetic of the hips leaves a lot to be desired, That definitely doesn't look seamless at all. They just need to hurry up and make it like a Storm Collectibles leg, where you don't have that joint showing. But either way, we're not here to harp on that. let's zoom in. Now it's saying the area where his neck meets his chest is capable of vertical movement, so you can adjust the length of his neck to recreate specific looks. Now this is interesting because, you know, something that some people have said about, once again, previous 3.0 era figures, even though, like I said, this is a 4.0 era figure in my opinion, is that, you know, the necks look real frumpy and stubby. This, once again, it seems like they were listening a little bit, and you can adjust the neck length. Now, this shoulder articulation, I'm not gonna say it's completely new, but definitely that armpit part is definitely something completely new. And another thing, if you're new to collecting, you know they going hard with this figure, or that they proud of this figure in particular, because look, rarely do they ever really highlight the articulation like this. They gave us a whole specific diagram page to talk about the articulation. That's how you know they putting a lot of faith into this figure. You get this weird shin movement. I'm not sure why this would be important. If y'all guys could really tell me what y'all would use it for, you know, put it down in the comments. You know, maybe help me out with some poses when I actually get the figure, right? But this joint right here is actually on the Daima Goku that just released, the adult Daima Goku. Now this is something that's been a weakness in general. Oh shit. Oh wait, hold on guys. I just heard something crash in the living room and I'm scared. Hey, back like we never left. Nothing happened. I thought something broke. I was like, oh my goodness. I hope something I made didn't broke. But anyways, yeah, they going hard with the articulation, like giving us this whole page, and even something that's been a weakness for all the figures, right? A lot of their figures for the most part, is that ab articulation, the ability to lean back like that with the soft gi. That's dope. I think that's really good range of motion. Crunching forward, dope, but you see it got that ugly gap in back there, so that's something that they definitely gonna have to refine going forward. But yeah, this I think is the definitive, you know, you thought we would get a 3.0 kind of normal style gi for Goku, and we got 4.0. Now that we've gotten that body mold thing out the way, because this picture, so something I said so long ago is that it was strange that they didn't do this pose with Goku and Gohan with when they announced the Gohan, because I was like, you know, they could have easily just put the full power Super Saiyan Goku next to the Gohan, because that would have been appropriate, because full power Super Saiyan Goku appears during the Cell game. And that's when they came out the hyperbolic time chamber. That was literally the Goku to pose with him. I was like, that's strange. Wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do that, because they actually planned to do it with an updated Goku, and behold, it aged very well, you know? But that being said, let's get more on to the speculation part.
Ping pong!
What is next after this? Well, first thing first, I was gonna split this into two sections, but I'm excited. First thing first, for those that don't really keep up with two third-party studios out of nowhere, like what, 3 weeks ago, revealed Perfect Cell. So two different studios started just saying, oh, we're gonna put out a Perfect Cell. And I was like, oh, this is very random. And typically when you have random occurrences like that, it usually means that that figure will be able to go with something that official is releasing. Another example, and I always give this example for people that aren't new, but if you've been here for a while, you're gonna be like, oh, bomb, this example again. Yeah, this example again. So I remember the third-party company Demoniacal Fit had announced that that they were going to release an adult GT Goku. And I was like, who asked for that? We've been waiting for future Gohan for the longest, and at that time we were still waiting for their Tenacious Martialist, which was a 3.0 base Goku. The base Goku did come out, long story short. They haven't really re-released it. I think they did it one run, but that's about it. But that's besides the point. That adult GT Goku was made, and it was like, once again, who asked for this? And then come and find out 2 months later, Tamashii announces GT Goku in his kid form. I'm like, that's why they just wanted to do some quick capitalizing off of the official release. And behold, you ordered your perfect cell, and now you have not only is it like a brand new Goku, it looks pretty good, and it's a general release. So this is gonna be like one of your cheaper figures that's and more easily able to get with with all the new sculpting and whatnot. Speaking of, the silhouette for the hair looks very similar to the legendary Super Saiyan Goku hair, but I think they changed up the front piece. But yeah, that's all I have to really say about the hair. Like, I think the hair is fine. It seems to be like a generic catch-all, Cell Saga Goku. It's not referencing a particular art style. That's what third party is for at this point in time. But yes, that's the reason why those perfect cells were shown off, because this was on the horizon. Now, in terms of things, people like this has gotten reignited people's flame for the line, and it's like, yo, what is coming next? Like, what's next? Well, they could go a myriad of ways. I think the easiest thing to call next on is most certainly Perfect Cell himself, because one, that figure is long overdue. Two, we already see that third party's capitalizing on it, and three, I don't even know what I have for three, but that's three. Literally, the name of the figure is "The Games Begin," which is, of course, the English dub, one of the English dub episodes. It's either The Games Begin or The Cell Games Begin. One of those two. It's probably The Games Begin, because Tamashii tends to reference stuff like that, and the and the names of their figures. But Cell would be like an easy guess, and it's certainly not unreasonable. And then with Cell, you use Cell to tease potentially a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and there's so many different routes that they could go, because now we officially in the Cell era, and you can expect, I'm sure some Android reissues, and at this point in the video, we're just getting into speculation on what's coming next. And then also, this pose in particular right here, right, since we end this section of the video, my good man Figuarts was light speed with it. He always goes through the pictures and be like, yo, what Japanese poster are they referencing? Because that's typically what they tend to do with the posters. With the poses, they either are referencing one of the Japanese movie posters or anime posters, or it'll be referencing the manga directly. And in this case, Goku had this pose when on the first Broly movie poster, and people I was like, oh, my good man Sai, and then before I knew it, people was posting it on Reddit and everything. Now, Broly coming has been a long time coming. That's what she said. Either way, and that's because if you are fairly new to collecting, Tamashii Nations does surveys, and a lot of the characters that people want, if you really look at the surveys, Tamashii know that you want them. They just gonna release them on their timing when they feel like they should release them. And that Broly has been on the surveys multiple times, particularly the powered down version. So specifically base hair, his suppressed Super Saiyan form. He had the bluish hair and he was being controlled. That's been on the survey before. And both of them, like, if it was the first survey was like, oh, Super Saiyan, regular Super Saiyan Broly. By the next survey, which was a few months later, that wasn't even an option anymore, which tells me that might have won. And they know that people want that. And then the next survey was like Broly base form. And of course that came off as well, because as I always say, Broly is box office. So yeah, maybe we can expect a Broly in the near future, or let me not say a Broly in the near future, a Broly that is not that reissue, but is an updated mold and whatnot. Maybe it'll come out like 2026 at some point. They could announce it this year. They could show it off at SDCC or something like that, and then release it. It'll be like, all right, Premium Bandai released, I don't know, February 2026 or something like that. That's it. Now, this is all speculatory, you know? It doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to happen. Also, another thing to note, right? So, notice, guys, I want y'all to notice something. Didn't y'all find the, what you call it? This is like the rambling part of the video. Didn't y'all peep that the timing of this, what you call it? The timing of this reveal? So, just very recently, the Daima Adult Goku got released, right? The Japanese, release, of course. And of course, some of us overseas gets the Japanese release. And people are loving the figure a lot more than they thought. Now, this figure also, basically the whole lower half of this figure is that figure. So they had people get it in hand first. And, now you're getting this overwhelmingly positive feedback. Of course, people have their gripes with it. But then you also revealed the new hot shit Goku. The Goku that actually people would care about, which is a Z Goku. And it's sharing, like, all of this was, like, very, surgical in terms of the timing and all of that. They really building up the hype of the Diamond Goku to get you even more hype for the Goku that you actually want, which is this Goku. It's very, very. I love to see it, how Tamashii operates sometimes. Not to say that it's bad at all, but it's just an interesting thing to observe. And then, like, as I mentioned that, right? The reason why I mentioned that in the first place, because I almost lost my train of thought, because I'd be rambling. The Piccolo. Remember that Daima Adult Piccolo, right? Don't be surprised if they have something similar with that Daima Adult Piccolo. That Daima Adult Piccolo comes out, people get in hand and be like, oh, this is pretty good, only to get the Piccolo that for Android 17 with the updated tech and updated sculpt and technology, kind of like this Goku. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. Would not be surprised. But for all that being said, oh yeah, and I guess third party is probably gonna go. You might see a couple more Cell Saga Super Saiyan Goku head sculpt floating around for Goku. So don't be surprised if in a third party roundup you see just more Super Saiyan Gokus, coming into the picture for this figure. Or more base head Gokus too. More base head Gokus. It would be perfect. It would literally be perfect. This would be a lot of people's definitive base Goku, especially people that may not collect third party or just might like this figure, prefer this figure, But with all that being said, this has been Bombastic Plastic. We're going to scroll through the pictures one more time. Stay fantastic. Have a blessed day. And thank you for staying for my rambling. I just like, this is like we're kicking it with the homie. You feel me? Peace.